Now I originate. Ratpack don't imitate.
For those that don't know, the kids who are just getting into music, who have maybe just logged on to Bass Music Awards this year, what are you guys about? Tell us.
Well, originally, before all of the genres that you're probably listening to now, there was a seed that was sown a little while ago, say back in the 80s, and even before then there was another seed, but the seed that we was sowing back in the 80s was from the acid house genres. When in this very building we used to have old warehouse parties ourselves as well.
Acid!
Yeah, back in the day.
Only for the headstrong.
And institution that is known as the DJ stroke MC thing is we was one of the very first to actually be doing that on the rave scene, of course, not in the whole music genre, because you had DJs and MCs all over the world anyway.
Yeah, from the old reggae days, it's something I brought with me from the reggae days. I was known as a toaster in them days. Not like, you know, where you put your bread and put a little bit of butter.
It was more like chop on a mat, chop on a mat, chop on a mic.
That was called toasting in them days, and it's got transferred over to MC, you know, being the master of ceremonies. And we was the first team, MC DJ team, from the acid house days to kind of start pioneering and pushing vocals, because in the early days, acid house, it was just like samples from dirty movies and I got it, you know, cunt snakes. And we thought that there could be a little bit more to it, so we took what I had from the reggae days, put it in a bit of acid house, spliced, mixed it, chopped it up a little bit. Mark doing a little bit of beatboxing there. We just created
bringing in the hip hop influences as well, because that's where we was with it. And basically, you know, cut a long story short, we was one of the first. We are, well, sometimes we can claim to be the very first DJ MC team on the scene, on the rave scene as we know it.
Pioneers, absolute pioneers. Acid house. I mean, I told you a little bit earlier. I'm going to tell these guys now. I'm just really, really sad that I was not old enough to go clubbing in the 90s. Just give us a bit of an insight. What was the vibe?
Well, it started just before the 90s, actually. It started at about
88, wasn't it?
87, 88.
Yeah.
And we was going to some of the early places like Shum, Spectrum, lots of, you know, the early parties. And what was it, the place called Heaven at the time. And there was a regular Monday night down there called, what was that night called?
That was Spectrum, wasn't it? And then they had Land of Oz as well, that was there as well.
On Thursday.
Paul Oakenfold, Colin Favor and all them DJs there, they was all playing down there. It was just wicked.
I love Fabio.
What it was actually like, to be quite honest, it was amazing. There was no other words you can put for it. You know, it's just lucky to be there at that time. The whole nation was on it, and it just went acid house crazy. Yeah, it was just wicked. Bandanas, everybody wearing smileys everywhere, big Bermuda shorts, Converse, long hair.
And we just saw it as a movement, and we said, "Oh my giddy aunt, this is it, isn't it?" Yeah. Because before that, the clubs, everything, there was no club open past 2 o'clock in the morning. And I think the latest club around North London, I think, was Camden Palace at the time. And it was, about 3 o'clock. Yeah, and we just saw a whole new gap in the market, because even when you got to Camden Palace, first thing they'd say, as a black man to me come in the door, "You got membership, mate?" No, well, you can't come in here tonight. And it was like that. And they'd say, right, you got to have a shirt, you got to have shoes. You know, in some cases they want you to put a tie on before you even come in the club. Wow. But definitely shirt and trousers and shoes. It was that kind of smart dress thing. And it was sort of like, most clubs, it'd be either black people, white people, Greek people, Indian, or African, or wherever you came from. It was kind of all segregated, and we saw this as a whole movement which brought everyone together. There was no black, there was no white, there was no rich, there was no poor. You just had it. You didn't even have to dance.
Yeah, broke down all the boundaries.
You had to be a right good dancer. Yeah. With this, in this case, you didn't even have to be able to dance. Put a pair of shorts on, dress down, and go in and do this with your arms.
7 hours.
And that was it. Yeah. And it brought everyone together. You know, football hooligans and racists stopped becoming racist. Everyone was mixing into one, and it was just everybody was just all under one roof, and realised, you know what, everyone's all right here, really. I mean,
you just love you're here to dance, here to party.
Everyone stopped the hating and they started the loving, and that's where it all began.
From a melting pot, like what was that geezer? the old tune, what the world needs is a great big melting pot, big enough, big enough, big enough to take the world and all it's got. Keep it churning for 100 years or more. Turn out multicolored people by the score. And it just changed the whole world. Not just did it change fashion and the way clubs fought, but the clubs also realised people stopped going to the clubs then. They said, well, why are we going to pay a tenner to get in there when we can pay a fiver and dance all night? We ain't got to put shoes on, we ain't got to put a shirt on. We can go and get cheap beer, and if we want to drink water, we can drink water, because before that, pubs, clubs, no one stopped water.
No. Really?
Yeah. Well, where did you ever see what water came out of the tap?
Water never used to get sold, you know. When water first came out, it was like, oh, they're selling water to us. How can they sell water?
Yeah. Who's going to buy water when you can get it in the tap?
Next they're going to sell it. I'll tell you what, watch this. They will charge us for the air we breathe soon. It will happen. I thought it would never be able to happen. They couldn't charge us for water. I mean,
something that comes out of the tap, please.
Yeah. Wow.
For free.
And
All right,
you were
you
like,
pay water bills
stop
now,
it.
but since I've been coming here, I've been paying water bills. So you're
It's
paying
all
for your
about-
water anyway. So why go and pay for it again?
Exactly.
But it
Word.
happened.
Wow.
And the drinks companies realised this. The clubs realised
You know what?
this. And
This-
they said, what are we going to do? So they just put a campaign to shut down the outside house parties, because people stopped going to the clubs, stopped drinking the beer. So the beer companies, the clubs, and then when they got together, got with Margaret Thatcher and said, right, let's shut them down.
So you went to the fields.
Aye.
yeah, that's it. It was, all to the fields. Wherever we could go, you know, wherever people want to do. The reason why it was to the fields because there weren't buildings big enough to hold all the people. I mean, you know, there weren't too many buildings that you could find with 10,000 people that would house 10,000 people, apart from the odd aircraft hangar somewhere. And then that's where it was in the fields. Hence your festivals that you have now, and you know, and then you got the Fantasias, you know, the Obsessions, the world dances, you know. The elevation, the moon dances, everybody came up, and the rain dances, of course, they all, you know, did their big things in the fields. The energies, the sunrises, you know, all of those organisations. We used to have massive parties out in the fields, and they were just places where just, you know, everyone still talks about it. If you was there today, them days, you'll still talk about it today with a big smile on your face.
Yeah, and not only that, I get a lot of people coming up and looking at me, Carl, what was it like to be there in them days? I'd love to have been there when you lot was... But hey.
I don't know if you actually heard that the beginning of the question that she asked was like, so what was it like back then?
There you go.
Yeah, we just come full circle.
Now we're back. Well, yeah, was it like literally a case of like someone would be like, right, it's going to be in a field in Hertfordshire, somewhere off this motorway, and then what, like a train of people would start going?
Yeah,
One person would know, yeah?
That's what it
And it would be
was.
like Chinese whispers.
You know, you'd get the hotline
No.
number. You'd get
No,
the
you get
hotline
the
number.
There was a
hotline
number.
number to ring, and everyone would be ringing this number, and it weren't like they had to have a massive switchboard for the people. It'd just be obviously a voicemail which they'd left behind and saying, like, everybody meet at this petrol station. So you'd get there. When you get there, there'll be someone else with another number that you'd have to ring. And this is all to get away from the police, basically, because the police are actually on it as well.
Rat and mouse.
So it's the first
rat,
one,
mouse.
you know,
Rat and mouse.
yeah, to tell where the venue was. Anyway, you'd follow all of these different coded secret phone calls and everything, and you finally turn up in one place, and you'll see the lights before you get there. They're all in the sky. The lasers are going off, and you go, yeah.
Like,
we're
that's
there.
a buzz already.
And there was,
like,
you know, yeah, there was just about, you know, a massive queue of cars. I mean, 5,000 cars just all going to the same place. Gridlock everywhere. Everyone else, the locals would come out and say, hang about, what's going on here there?
is this the village
Where are these
fete?
dark fellas coming
Yeah,
from?
everybody got a big disco down the road. And that was how it was. It was just like, it was amazing. Like, it was just wicked. Everyone would jam. People, you know, because there was no traffic, people would be out of their cars, bonnet open, speakers up, go, whoa, street party, street
And that's
party.
because
It's
police
just
are trying
proper
to
going
block
off.
the road from where everyone was trying to get to the party. So you'd get a couple of local police who hadn't got a clue what was going on, they got out of their bed in the middle of the night, stop all these people. And people would look up to the police and say, do you know where the ravens are? You're not allowed down there. While he's talking to them, a few more slip round in front of him, run past, and he'd run past, hey, where you going? And everyone just go, hey.
That sounds hilarious.
It was fun.
First question. It was amazing, really, wasn't it? Pretty sick. Hey, guys. Right, Nally boy. Do I look good? You got me in there, son. Got my good side.
Something you know